Hey, today's episode is brought to you by Fastmail. Private, secure, ad-free email hosting that's lightning fast. Packages start from less than $4 a month and you can grab a free 30-day trial plus get 15% off your first year over at fastmail.com/Timbo. And we're also made possible thanks to 52ways.biz, that's B-I-Z, a free one-day live event that's filling up real fast. Hosted by small business expert Dale Beaumont for business owners who want to grow. We all want a bit of that, right? Grab your free tickets now over at 52ways, that's 52ways.biz, before it's too late. You know, I do love it when I come across a new idea that's right for its time. I love it even more if it involves food, beer, and movies. And I especially love it when it's just down the road from a holiday house. Today's successful business owner ticks every one of those boxes.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. I am your host, Timbo Reid. But you, infinitely more importantly, are a motivated business owner and you are ready to crank out some great marketing to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. It's exactly what we do around here. Been doing it for 362 episodes. If it's your first time around, welcome. A big virtual hug to you. If it's your, 180th time around, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Big show today. Julian Grant, the founder of a very cool new outdoor cinema concept, shares how and why year one has been a huge success for him. Resident expert Dale Beaumont from 52 Ways has an idea that will supercharge your email and blog post headlines. I share another low-cost marketing idea that will ensure you never eat alone again if you choose to. And we go back into the vault, revisiting a chat I had with Rowdy McLean, who demanded that we all play a bigger game. He says, that was a great chat. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Life just got a whole lot easier.
Hi, it's Dale Beaumont here from 52ways.biz, the best one-day business workshop ever, with another productivity tool to make your business life a whole lot easier. So what is the tool that I'm going to share with you today? Well, it's called Headline Analyzer, and it's from a company called CoSchedule. Now, if you're running your own business, if you're doing any form of marketing, if you're putting out emails or you're writing copy for your web, you need to have a great headline. The headline is what grabs people's attention and draws people into your marketing message. Now, generally speaking, the only way that you know if the headline is any good is by actually using it and then testing it later, retrospectively. However, now you can actually test the success of headlines before you've actually used them. How is that even possible? Well, that's why you need to check out Headline Analyzer. What you can do is go to this tool, you can type in your idea for a headline, and it basically tells you if it's any good or not. It actually gives you a score out of 100. And if it's not all that great, you can try again and again and again, and you can get to a score that you're happy with. Then when you use that headline, you'll know it's going to get much better results. There you have it. I told you life would get a whole lot easier. This has been Dale Beaumont from 52ways.biz. Now, back to you, Timbo.
Life just got a whole lot easier. Headline Analyzer. It's actually a ripper tool. Used it many times. You know, the analysis it gives you on each headline really helps you understand what's working and why. Hey, if you're loving the productivity tools Dale's sharing, then you're going to love his upcoming live event. It's 8 hours of solid business building gold. It's happening around Australia starting in May and going on for a few months. You can grab a free ticket for you and a friend now over at 52ways.biz. See you at the Melbourne event. Coming up, I share another low-cost marketing idea that involves food, glorious food. So can't sing. But right now, let's meet today's successful business owner, Julian Grant, who's the founder of Barefoot Cinemas, a new outdoor cinema concept that launched over summer in Victoria. In fact, it launched down the road from my holiday house in a seaside village called Portsea. So I'm a little bit biased, as I absolutely love Julian's business idea, as it brought a whole new level of fun to the area. Now, the criteria I have for choosing my guests is that I look for a successful small business owner with an interesting story that's using marketing effectively. Now, I tend to avoid startups and those that aren't running over a certain dollar amount. But every now and then, I break my rules, and I've done this for Julian, as I think there's some great lessons for us all in what he's done with this new business. Barefoot Cinema is an outdoor cinema concept, let me paint the picture, set in a national park, on a cliff top, overlooking a beautiful beach and Port Phillip Bay. There's food trucks, a bar, fairy lights dangling from all the trees, live music, and there's a large cinema-sized screen and sound system as well. You sort of feel like you're in a Jack Johnson video. It's so cool. What I also love about the Barefoot Cinema concept is that by day, Julian is a young whippersnapper solicitor. So this is a side hustle, one which, given the success he's had in year one, may well become his full-time focus very quickly as he starts a national expansion. He'll talk about that shortly. I started off by asking Julian why he chose such a labour-intensive idea when he's already busy enough.
Well, I've always been sort of interested in outdoor events and particularly outdoor cinemas. Had this idea in the pipeline sort of for a while. In the meantime, got a full-time job and been working at that all the time. But the opportunity sort of came around when my girlfriend wasn't working too much. My brother had a bit of time off. So together, without me being able to put too much time in because of my full-time job, we were able to sort of do it together. So that's how it came about.
So you were supporting the family and generating a second income.
Yeah.
Being a solicitor doesn't pay much.
Exactly.
Where'd the idea come from for Barefoot?
Yeah, so like I said, always liked outdoor cinemas myself, and then growing up on the Mornington Peninsula, I thought there was a bit of a lack of entertainment options down there, aside from the standard pubs and that sort of thing. So thought something else to do at night, and love all the natural beauty down there, lots of beautiful spots, and thought, how can we combine those two sort of ideas, and thought that an outdoor cinema that showcased that natural beauty while also giving people of all ages, families, something to do was a good thing to do. So that's why we sort of pursued that.
Did you have other ideas in mind? Like, were you looking for something extra to do, or it was just one thing that you really wanted to do?
It was an outdoor event of some description, and my family business, or like my family's business, is sort of AV as well. So having that audiovisual sort of background to go with this, and outdoor cinemas, while there is a lot of work that goes into setting one up and a lot of money that goes into setting one up as well, it's not as hard to set up maybe as some other events or outdoor festivals and stuff, so It's sort of a good way to test the water and see how it went.
Mate, the minute I heard about Barefoot Cinema, I got it, like as a name, I got it. Love Portsea, love the whole Mornington Peninsula, so I was quickly sold. But it looked like, when I went and checked it out, it looked like a massive idea, like there was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, it was, and I think... the whole idea about Barefoot Cinema is to be fun, friendly, sort of relaxed atmosphere on the beach, something to do while people are on holidays down in that beautiful and exclusive location. But as we got more into developing, and at the start it was a bit like, let's do an outdoor cinema, let's see how that goes. And as you get further and further into the planning of that, it's kind of like it just snowballs, and there's more and more things to do, and closer to the event, they're just minute details that you have to then think about and put into place.
Let's talk about the macro details to start with, because you're in a national park. You're at Point Nepean National Park, one of the most beautiful parts of Victoria, arguably the world. I just think it's an amazing place. So the first thing you've got to do is get a permit from Parks Victoria to put on a large live event 10, 12 days in summer. How do you do that?
Yeah, and so that's, I suppose, where having the skills as a solicitor helped a lot with that, because I was able to navigate through and it's a pretty lengthy process. It was probably about a 9-month process from start to finish with Parks from when I first contacted them. And that was sort of when I had the idea, that was the initial hurdle that I needed to overcome, is find a good site, get a permit to be able to use that site. And once I was able to do that, then I thought we'd be able to put it on. But there was a lot of work that went into satisfying all the requirements of Parks, which are quite extensive.
With them, I would have lasted 3 minutes, by the way. But were there moments when you just looked at someone across the table in the public servant office and just gone, really?
Yeah, and plenty of times.
So being a solicitor, what does that bring? What can we learn from you as a solicitor when negotiating frustrating things?
It's not necessarily sort of negotiating, it's more just there's a lot of steps that you need to go through, and you need to be meticulous in going through that detail, making sure if you're going to provide a risk management plan to them, you do an extensive one, that they're not going to come back with a whole lot of changes and it's going to take a lot of time to finalise. So if you get it right the first time and do a good detailed job, then you can sort of progress to the next steps. There's always, it's a lengthy process and there's a lot of steps in there that sometimes you think, why do we need to do this and do it so detailed? There is a process. So as long as you sort of that background of attention to detail, being a lawyer, you go through step by step and do the process, and then you can sort of get there in the end.
Okay, there's something to be learned here, just basically about proposal writing or pitch writing, which is understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come in as the solicitor, bang your fist on the table. You've identified what needs to be answered, and then over answered each time.
Yeah, exactly. And we also came into this with a view to establishing a long-term relationship with Parks and the local council. So we wanted to not only do what was required, but also think about the values that they're trying to promote through their parks. They're big about getting families involved, showcasing the natural beauty, being gentle on the landscapes. So those were sort of things that we went out of our way to try and make sure that we achieved them and overachieved them, so that they're all happy with the outcome as well.
Give us an example of a couple of the other kind of macro things, hurdles that you had to overcome.
So I suppose the funding for this sort of event, initially, we were self-funding at the start, so you have to sort of go out and try and get sponsorship. And listening to one of your previous guests, Sarah from the Hunter Safety Awards.
SJ, yeah.
Yeah, sort of related to that a lot, in that going out there as two sort of individuals, my girlfriend and I, trying to tell big businesses and corporates that, we're going to put on a really professional event and try and sell the vision that is Barefoot Cinema. That was a definite sort of macro challenge to try and get that across the line and work out exactly how we were going to structure those sort of deals as well. So
sponsorship is hard. I don't care who you are, who you're talking to. I mean, getting sponsors for this show is an ongoing challenge. Anyone I speak to, try and get. You got to sell them the dream. You are competing against often mediums or opportunities with much bigger audiences. So, what did you? Because you got some decent sponsors. You got Yelna Yogurt. You got who else?
Yeah, so Jelna Yogurt were a fantastic supporter right from the start. They got on, saw the vision and saw where we were going with it right from the start. So we're big supporters, and we really couldn't have done it without them. They helped us get going at the start. We had Triple M as a media partner. We had Healthy Warrior, which have got 3 brands, Juice Lab, the Bar Counter and Naked Truth. So they were sort of our candy bar suppliers.
Beer. Sea
Road Ferries down there. Lion Co came on with 4X, Summer Bright. So we've got some good names.
Okay, so what did Jelna get that others didn't so quickly?
I think, the owner of Jelna, Campbell McLaren, he's got a house down there in that area, so he understands the natural area, but apparently it was actually his brand manager who really, really liked the idea and thought it fitted in well with their big about, natural ingredients and being a real natural sort of healthy product, and that beautiful outdoor natural environment, I sort of think coincided with that. But so they took the naming rights package straight away and got on board right from the start.
A big sigh of relief for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then to be able to go to other sponsors and say, hey, Yelna's on board, which is a great brand anyway.
Exactly.
It brings confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so sponsorship, permits for the park. It's an absolutely amazing location. I mean, being a podcast, it's hard to paint a picture of it. You've got to see it. I'm going to put some photos in the show notes so people can see what you created. It was quite beautiful. Getting the films, you had, in the end, 12 titles?
Yeah.
How do you get the permission to run a film?
Yeah, so that was another challenge. I suppose, the other things, so getting the films and getting the equipment to play the films and all that sort of stuff, getting the screen where the other two
Getting
things.
the sound right. It's outdoors. You're on a cliff.
Yeah, exactly. So the films come, you have to find out who the film distributors are in Australia and then contact them, get an account with them, sort of depending on how a new release you're trying to show, they want to see what sort of equipment you're using and that sort of thing. So then you got to select your films and it's not overly difficult, but there's a lot of steps you go through.
What do you pay for a film?
So they take a commission on ticket sales.
Because you could have gone down to the local video store and just got the DVD.
Yeah, you could give that a crack, but if you get caught, I think it costs you a fair bit more.
Good luck with that. What was the most popular film?
Sully was our most popular, and also Lion King and The Castle were both pretty popular ones as well.
I like the fact that you ran The Castle on Australia Day.
Yeah.
Clever.
It fitted in pretty well.
Yeah. For any overseas listeners who haven't seen The Castle, watch it. You probably won't get it, but watch it nonetheless.
Yeah.
In the development of Barefoot Cinema, Julian, was there a freak out moment where you've looked at your girlfriend and your brother and maybe your boss back at your law firm and gone, what on earth are we doing?
Yeah. There were plenty of those moments. We still have them. So
why?
I mean, it's just the constant process, especially starting in your first year in the event. It was constantly like we had to plan for a big successful event, but each step of the way it was just sort of like we didn't have enough time to secure everything before we moved on to the next hurdle. So we were, pushing for sponsorship and telling the sponsors how fantastic this event was going to be without having any ticket sales or any sort of runs on the board yet. And then you go into plan how many toilets, how much infrastructure you need for the crowd without knowing how many people you're going to get there. So it was constantly like we wanted to, and we didn't want to hold back on any expense for the event because we really thought whether we make money this first year or lose money, we wanted to show that the brand about Barefoot Cinema is a premium event in an exclusive location, beautiful sort of scenery. So we didn't want to hold back on putting on a really fantastic event, but that meant that we were investing a lot of money and we were taking some risks that we were definitely looking at each other sometimes and going, right, are we really going to go ahead with this? Like this is the no turning back point now. So let's keep going.
Was there a moment in time? Can you remember back and think there was that moment where we've gone, are we going or not?
Well, I mean, before we started selling tickets, I suppose was one of those moments where we were thinking, right, how's the sponsorship money looking? How are we going from that perspective? Are we going to start putting on this event? And once we start selling tickets, then it's going to be a lot harder to pull out at that point. And then as the initial ticket sales start to happen and you're getting close to the event, there's probably another few weeks out where you're like, right, now we really can't pull out. So,
love it.
Yeah.
Listeners, I'm talking to Julian Grant. He is the founder of Barefoot Cinemas that happened down at beautiful Portsea, which is a beachside village in Victoria over summer just gone. I want to break down the marketing because you did lots of little bits of marketing. I want to understand what worked and what didn't. Yeah. But let me ask you this. Was it successful?
Yeah, it was really successful. So we were really happy with how it went for the first year. The feedback we got from everybody that came and from the community and from the local stakeholders was all fantastic, and that's exactly what we wanted to achieve in the first year. We wanted to show people what our vision was, do the event, show people, have some footage of it, have some photos of it, so that next year we can go on and sell the event and hope that everybody had a really great time so that they'll tell their friends and they'll come back and the word will spread.
So it sounds to me like success criteria was feedback from local traders, people having fun.
Yeah.
Did you lose money, make money, break even?
We had a small loss in the first year, but like I said, that's sort of expected, and we wanted to invest more, and we did a lot of things that we didn't necessarily have to do. We didn't. Yeah, right. Some of these outdoor cinemas you'll go to, and they're sort of the bare minimum. You turn up, there's grass, there's a screen, and you sit down and do what you want with it.
Yep.
We really wanted to put on an event where it was a special occasion. You come in, and it's sort of laid on for you, and it feels special from the moment you arrive. So that was the whole idea of Barefoot Cinema.
Brilliant. So the small loss that you took. And I'm guessing none of you took a salary out of it.
No.
Therefore, it's your cost of marketing for years 2, 3, 4 and beyond. I mean, now you have got proof of concept, video, photos, people's opinions, testimonials of sponsors.
Yeah.
Mate, that's worth $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the aim for the first year. So from that perspective, it was really, really successful.
So have you wrapped that up into a beautiful package now where a sponsor can see it and go, I want to be a part of that?
Yeah, we did. So the first year as well, we tried to put together a package as best we could, but without photos, It was a bit harder. It was more describing the vision, where this year we've been able to add a lot of beautiful photos and a promotional video that we've got done as well about the event. So that definitely helps to sell the vision for the next years and to go out to sponsors, which we're currently doing at the moment. So
brilliant.
Try and sell it to them.
Okay, let's break down the marketing, because you and I had a few discussions in the lead up and during as to what you could and couldn't do and how to spend a limited budget. Getting bumps on seats is hard.
Yeah.
So just walk us through maybe the top 5 marketing initiatives you took.
Yeah, getting bums on seats definitely is hard, and it's a lot harder than you might think at the start, especially down that area. I was a little bit naive, having grown up down there where there's such an influx of tourists that come down at that time. It seems like a lot of the businesses in the main streets that open up their doors, people will just walk in. But we're in quite a secluded location, so getting people to just walk in wasn't as simple as that.
Let's just explain that, because it is. It's at the very end. The Mornington Peninsula becomes a tiny little finger at the very end, before it becomes the sea. And that little finger is called Point Nepean National Park. There is no through traffic. You don't drive past and go, oh, Barefoot Cinemas on tonight. You actually have to work hard at letting people know that. Yeah,
that's right. That was definitely a challenge. And
okay, so what did you do?
So
let's start with Triple M, media partner. Good or bad?
So Triple M, from the perspective of getting a really respectable, great, well-known brand media partner on board, was fantastic, and was able to then go to other sponsors and say, look, we've got Triple M on board. So from a credibility standpoint, it was really great to have Triple M on board. In terms of the actual package that we got back, I don't know if it was ideally suited to our market. Sort of that mass media marketing to a predominantly Melbourne audience wasn't ideally suited to us. And I think unless you've got a big budget that you can spend on a really big campaign across the radio network, you're easily going to get lost amongst all the other ads that are on that sort of.
So what did you get? You got live reads, you got a bit of website coverage.
So they ran a competition online for our event. They did a couple of a number of recorded ads, and then they also did some promotion through their Facebook and social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So good for credibility, not great for getting bums on seats.
Yeah.
Did you therefore learn from that it was local area marketing that was really going to get bums on seats?
Yeah, definitely local area marketing and social media, and being able to target social media to that area as well was, I think social media... We had a bit of an issue with our ticketing provider, so we couldn't get the exact statistics on how many sales we got or conversions we got through social media, but we estimate pretty conservatively that it was probably about half our ticket sales, or just under half of our ticket sales.
How did you use social media?
So again, starting, from without any sort of experience in this, we made a few mistakes along the way where we went and got some social media consultants in to advise us, and again, without having a massive package to be able to let them run with it. I think that was a bit of wasted money. But we did eventually get a pretty good following on social media just by posting about the event, showing videos, taking people behind the scenes of what was happening and showing them what was happening each night. And
did you find behind the scenes stuff to be really effective?
Yeah, it was really good. And I think one of the things that we did was I've been doing a lot of reading about sort of social media and trying to learn as we go. We all have.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. And there seems to be a lot of ways out there where you can get some numbers pretty quickly if you're going for numbers' sake. But we didn't have that objective from the start. We really wanted to get an audience that's interacting and that sort of really appreciates what we're doing on social media. And we've got that, we don't have the biggest numbers in the world, but we do have, every time we put up a post, we're getting a lot of interaction from our audience, and people are really connect with what we're doing down there. So I think it's a really valuable audience.
We're talking Facebook,
Instagram were our two key social media channels.
One over the other?
Initially, it was Facebook that we started with, and Facebook was the biggest lead generator to our website. Mm-hmm. But Instagram really took off throughout the event, and people loved, I think it's the real visual medium once we're up and going and we could show people there.
Barefoot Cinema is made for social media. It's like, look at me.
Exactly.
Look where I am. Look who I'm with. And it was cool. I mean, the fact that you did create what I would call I sort of felt like I was on an Angus and Julia Stone movie set, video clip. Like, it was cool, lanterns hanging from the trees, and, you had live music playing, and, it was a cool place to be. So I can imagine social media media just playing right into that.
Yeah.
And was that, did you boost stuff? Did you run ads, or was it just simply you organically posting things that were happening?
We boosted pretty much everything, and it wasn't huge boosts that we were doing, but one of the things we did learn from that social media consultant is that the algorithms and stuff that Facebook and Instagram run means that if you're not boosting things, you're only getting a really minute percentage of even your own audience, let alone outside that. So we made sure we put a little bit of spend, and it was like $5 or $10 on every post, and then we would boost to bigger numbers for our sort of more, a more popular post where we were announcing the program or we were announcing movies and that sort of
you went
stuff.
up to like 10, 12, I think $15, wasn't it?
A little bit higher than that, but about that.
But see, this is what I love, right? Because you haven't made $1 million, but you have created a brand from nothing.
Yeah.
And a brand that actually, quite cleverly, Barefoot Cinema as a name, I think says a lot, and it feels quite established. So, we can laugh about a $10 spend, but hey, look what you're creating along the way. You don't have to spend a fortune.
Yeah.
What other local area marketing did you do?
Yeah, so we did deliveries of our flyers to every sort of household in the local area. We had posters up in all the local shops. Some of our local sponsors, local businesses down there, they were promoting for us as well. There was a lot of things that we wanted to do that we had planned in the grand plan as we were going along. But like I said, that snowball effect, there were so many different things that we had to do. We didn't get to do everything that we wanted to do from local area marketing or from marketing in general.
Did you try my street stencil idea?
We did give that a go, and that was very successful in getting some notoriety around the area, but what wasn't overly welcomed by some of the local traders.
Get over it, local traders. Well, they say, that's vandalism, that's graffiti.
Yeah,
no,
and I mean, it does look like spray paint when you do it, but when we explained to them that it was chalk and we quickly got it off their footpath, we didn't get any more complaints after that. But the initial reaction, certainly people took notice and it got the word out there, but some of the feedback we were getting certainly made us a bit nervous.
Move on. You're a solicitor, mate. You're the last person who needs to be nervous.
That was the problem.
Okay, Julian, the grand plan for Barefoot Cinema, you've got proof of concept. Sounds like you're going to do it again in Portsea.
That's right, yep.
Next summer. Love it.
Yep.
Bigger? Same?
Yeah, so as I was saying, like the first year was really, really successful. The feedback we got, and another proof of that was the fact that we got there's a social media and entertainment company, SME 360, who saw our idea and contacted us during the event, wanting us to bring Barefoot Cinema to some of they do mass participation sporting events around the country. So they wanted us to bring Barefoot Cinema to some of those events as an extra sort of add-on for their events. So they've contacted us through that, and then as discussions have gone on and we did an event for them down in Torquay, we've now established a joint partnership with them, joint venture with them, so they're going to be helping us to grow Barefoot Cinema to, we're very close to securing another location further up the Mornington Peninsula for this coming summer, and then looking to move further abroad.
In addition to Point Nepean?
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. So, because your grand plan is Barefoot Cinema is a brand that has certain component parts that can be delivered anywhere in Australia?
That's right, yeah. And so Barefoot Cinema as a brand is about having a premium sort of location that really showcases that location. We're not about encasing it in fencing or anything like that. We've got beautiful locations and we want to show them off and make sure people come, and it's a really special event combining live music, food trucks, drinks, music, and beautiful sunsets, beautiful views, and then movies. So that's the idea of Barefoot Cinema as a brand, and we do want to take that around the country to other places. The fact that we are choosing such iconic and beautiful locations is an absolute strength of the brand, I think, but it's also a part that will slow us down from growing overly quickly, because we're very picky in the locations that we do choose, and we only want to choose sort of the best, most suited locations around the country. So we're slowly picking them out, but it's a longer process than if we just wanted to roll out in any old park or any old location in the capital cities around this country.
Ultimate location?
I'd love to do one, and this is something that we'd have to do well down the track when the brand's really well established and people know us for iconic locations, but I'd love to do one in a spectacular national park. Like, the problem with national parks is they're quite isolated, but somewhere like Kakadu or somewhere out there where there's a couple in America where they're out in amazing sort of natural rock amphitheatres and things like that. I'd love to do one out there one day and see how that goes, but we'd have to have a big following to get people out all the way out there.
Mate, well done. Until I met you, I had didn't have a great view of solicitors. Not true. I know
Had enough on the show.
Yeah, I have actually. And in fact, just before you came, there was another one. So I better be careful. But I love what you've done. As I said at the start, a criteria for a guest on this show is a successful small business owner with a great story who's doing some smart marketing. I actually think you do fit all those, although you're not making $1 million yet. I think you will. I think you're onto an idea that has legs and that's right for its time. It's full of escapism and excitement and joy. So well done, buddy.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for having us on the show. I'm really happy to be here.
Don't get all emotional. Thanks, Julian.
And if any sponsors out there want to get on board, make sure to hit us up.
Mate, absolutely. Great call to action, hey?
Yeah.
Love your work.
Yeah.
How would they find you?
Yeah, so get online to our website, barefootcinema.com.au, or our social media channels. They're all Barefoot.
Can I give you a little tip?
Yeah.
Give them your email address.
Yeah, so it's julian@barefootcinema.com.au. Hit us up on there and we'll get in contact. Love to hear from great sponsors.
Thanks, rookie.
Thanks a lot.
There you go. Barefoot Cinemas, Julian Grant. What a good fellow. If you'd like to see some photos of Barefoot Cinema in action, and I encourage you to because it's spectacular, head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/362. Hey, look, I had to laugh. I always call or text my guests to thank them after the interview. After texting Julian, he replies with this. Hey, thanks, Timbo. Loved being on the show. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about our marketing plans for this year. We're implementing a number of new ideas, including some from your show, like blogging, creating a Barefooters loyalty club, developing associations and themed nights with local clubs and groups, and having much more of a local presence in the area, with stalls in the main street of Sorrento, human billboards, moving billboards, and flyering. Oh yeah, and we're also looking to test out Jules Lunn's Tribe, he's a past guest of the show, to see if that works for us in engaging relevant social media influencers. Julian, why did you forget to tell us all that? Luckily, you came through with that text afterwards. Love it, mate. So many marketing ideas in there for every single one of us. And the other learning is that Julian is a long-time listener of this show. And he's implementing, he's taking action, he's seeing success. Coming up, I'd share my top 3 attention grabbers from that fireside chat with Julian. Plus, I've got another low-cost marketing idea for you. Yeah, for you to grow your business. But first, check these guys out. This show is lovingly supported by Fastmail, an insanely secure, ad-free email hosting service for that beautiful business of yours. I asked Fastmail's operations engineer, aka lead geek, Rob Norris, to wrap some numbers around Fastmail. And didn't he get excited?
All right, well, we have about 150,000 users around the world. We deal with about 30 to 40 million emails every day. I think about 30 million of them is spam that we reject. So there's about 4 or 5 million legitimate emails a day that come through the system. We have 500 terabytes of just backup storage. So this is not the day-to-day mail that people use, but just all of their mail, last ditch, the world is on fire. We've got a copy of everything. So that's a ton of that. And we operate at that scale, but the company is probably only around 20 people. We run small, but we pack a punch.
Fastmail, taking the fear out of Armageddon. Packages start from less than $4 a month. Grab a free 30-day trial plus 15% off your first year over at fastmail.com/Timbo. Alrighty, my top 3 attention grabbers from that chat with Julian Grant from Barefoot Cinemas, thanks to 52ways.biz and fastmail.com/Timbo. Attention grabber number 1, brand clarity. I love how Julian could so easily articulate exactly what his Barefoot Cinema brand stands for. Now, if you can't do that for your business, then I strongly suggest you do it. Learn how to do it. You need some help? Join the Small Business Big Marketing Club. Attention grabber number 2, over-delivering. I love how Julian wasn't willing to cut corners. Whilst this impacted on his margins in year 1, it's meant that he has a bunch of sponsors who loved what they were involved with, a bunch of customers who loved attending it, and a product offering that is highly regarded. Year 2 is going to be so much easier for Julian. I just know it. Attention grabber number 3, behind-the-scenes social media posts. Now, I know many of you think you have nothing interesting to share on social media. If that's you, then think about some behind-the-scenes shots and stories from your business. We love that. It's voyeuristic. They work a treat. I've just started to broadcast my raw interviews on Facebook Live when I do them in the studio, and the engagement has been absolutely fantastic. So what grabbed your attention? I would love to know. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/362 and let me know.
What have you got to lose?
It's time for one simple yet effective marketing idea that you can implement now. One that's not going to cost you a fortune and that might just generate you more awareness, more inquiry, and ultimately more sales. Ka-ching! I call today's idea the never eat alone hack. What's that old saying? Your net worth equals your network. Never a truer word spoken. If you want to build your network and your reputation, then make a habit to never eat alone. Although it can be tempting to work through lunch when you're busy, and who doesn't do that, you'll find that taking the time to meet with other business owners, suppliers, journalists, and potential partners, business partners that is, can be effective in growing your business. So here's my 3 steps to never eating alone again. Step 1, block out at least one lunchtime per week to have lunch with someone else. Step 2, choose 3 different restaurants or cafes that are suitable for both eating and talking. Very important. Having this sorted means you'll never need to think about where you're going to go. Step 3, create a list of the first 12 people you'd like to have lunch with and lock them in. Spend an hour ringing around locking them in. And here's my pro tip. Get crystal clear on what outcome you want from each of these lunchtime rendezvous. Maybe it's simply to reconnect with an old client. Maybe it's to pitch an idea to a journo. Maybe it's to schmooze a supplier to bring your costs down. Whatever it is, just be clear on the outcome. Well, there's my 3 steps to never eating alone. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/362 where you'll find some additional resources, including a link to a great book on this exact topic called Never Eat Alone and Other Secrets to Success, One Relationship at a Time. Hey, and if you'd like help implementing any of the marketing ideas I share in this segment, and there's been 27 so far, go ahead and join the Small Business Big Marketing Club over at crankmymarketing.com, where I will personally support you daily on your marketing journey. So, what have you got to lose? That almost wraps up another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. But don't stress. You're probably not stressing, right? You're probably going, oh, there we go, another episode. But there's plenty more marketing gold coming your way in the weeks ahead, including a chat with Kate Morris, the owner of Adore Beauty, which is Australia's largest online beauty retailer. And boy, oh boy, has she got a great story to tell. Hey, have you listened to the chat I had with Rowdy McLean, who's all about helping us play a bigger game? He's got to be one of the most inspiring blokes I've had on this show. Here he is giving us humans a big pat on the back.
Well, I just don't think we respect how incredible we are. We're the latest version in a long line of ancestors that have survived fire and famine and predators and disease and all sorts of things to arrive at the point that we're arrived at today. And, our lives are definitely better than the lives of those people who existed before us 50 or 100 years ago. There's no doubt about that. And I don't think we've reached the limits yet. You think about the Olympics, like the amount of times where you think that record will never be broken, and then somebody does it. And we're just incredible creatures, We can experience emotions that no other animal on the planet can experience. We can run, jump, walk, ride a bike, we're just incredibly amazing. Like, seriously, Tim, don't you get out of bed in the morning, look in the mirror and go, hey, Tim, you're awesome.
Well, maybe every second day, Rouds. Hey, you'll find that full interview plus hundreds more over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, or you can subscribe free on iTunes. Hey, I'd love to hear from you. Email me, tim@timreid, reid.com.au, or you can hit me up on Twitter at timboreid, REID, or join the Small Business Big Marketing Facebook page. Be sure to grab your free seat at Dale Beaumont's 52 Ways events that will be touring Australia and New Zealand in May, June and August this year. Simply go to 52ways.biz and grab your seat for yourself and maybe a couple of business colleagues now, as they really are limited, and it's a free 8-hour event. It's fantastic. Check out Fastmail, private, secure, ad-free email hosting that's lightning fast. You can grab a free 30-day trial, plus get a listener-exclusive 15% off over at fastmail.com/Timbo. Packages starting from just under $4 a month, so cheap. If you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, why wouldn't you? Then let another business owner know about it. In fact, grab their phone and download this show onto their phone for them. Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Thanks for tuning in. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.